why don't you tell me what your name means?
Um,
Alpha Kid.
Alpha Kid, 2Ds. Pretty much is like real geeky. I always played Street Fighter when I was like a kid.
Me too.
My brothers would, yeah, they would like get into that, and then there's a specific game called like Street Fighter Alpha EX, and then I liked that one a lot, and I always liked Alpha, so I just started I had to think of my name, was just like, okay, Alpha, and then Kid, I always liked Jason Kidd. I always liked the fact that, you know, someone's last name was Kid, like 2Ds. I thought that was like pretty cool, so I just mashed it up, and then people were like, that means dominant kid and stuff and all the crap.
Well, that's what I figured, because Alpha meaning dominant and Kid.
Yeah.
I thought you were like trying to just like do like some kind of contradiction.
No, it came afterwards, and I was like, I could use that too. So
Oh.
that was good.
So why rap? Why not any other genre? There's plenty of genres out right now.
Yeah, it just happened. I can't sing, so I don't know why I chose rap really. I got into it like after I graduated high school, and I was just listening to like Lil Wayne and stuff, and I was just like, man, his punchlines are sick and everything. And so I just would rap along to his music, and eventually I was just like, oh, we start freestyling at parties and stuff, and then it just sort of happened.
So how did it actually click in your mind? Like, okay, I'm gonna actually do this. This is something that like I want to become an artist.
Well, my friend KT, or Boondocks, still good friends, he agreed to for me to have like a freestyle session just for fun, because he was doing his music thing at the time. So I was like, oh, let me get in on that. And then we had the session, and then I was like hot smoking.
What was the session at?
At his house, his home studio. And we're just like smoking. It's like a bunch of us just freestyling, and he was recording it, and he pretty much told me like, you know, you sound good. If you want to throw out a mixtape and be serious about it, then I'll back you on it and I'll record you.
Did you feel like a little anxious though when he hit you up about that?
Yeah, I was like, well, I don't know what to think really. At first I was like, fuck it, I'll just ride with it. So we just did it, and we knocked out that mixtape.
And when did this happen?
Probably late 2008.
Oh, so you've been doing this for a while now.
Yeah, I dropped it's been like what, 2 years, almost 3.
Do you remember what your first song was?
The first song I recorded was, fuck, it was awful. It was a freestyle over MIA's Paper Planes.
Oh.
And it was good. That was the one where like, oh shit, this doesn't sound bad. So that was the first one. It wasn't on the mixtape, but you know, afterwards I got down to like writing and trying to form like a song.
So what this is a typical question, but this is just from my own personal interest. What exactly inspires you to write?
From ignorant shit, from like the money and the cars, and I'm not gonna lie, and pretty much life, like all the bad stuff. I can easily write a song about like the negatives of life, because you know it's like natural for people to focus on the bad shit that happens.
So you draw, do you draw more like from negative or positive influences?
Since I dropped this last mixtape, I drew from both, and like, but before it was just I had a lot to get off my chest, like just personally, so I use it as like an outlet, like from relationships and stuff.
And are there any artists that like actually like inspire you, like wow, I want to sound like that guy, or I want to convey the same message as this guy?
Honestly, I don't look up to, well, Kanye West, like hands down. You know, whatever. I don't, you know, people have their opinions on him, like about his attitude, but like musically, like I still remember listening to his first single when I was like in 8th grade, and I was like, who's this guy? And I didn't listen to hip hop back then, and then yeah, like, and you know, that guy just progresses like yearly, and like his songs have different subjects and stuff. It's not all like monotonous, so I guess you can say I look up to that. So.
Now I know where you grew up, but why
Yeah.
don't you tell me about like what were the circumstances of you growing up, and do you think those circumstances actually affect your music?
Yeah, I grew up in El Monte, on Bonwood, and it was an apartment complex. It was pretty ghetto. It still is now, and then everyone in that apartment complex was like the same ethnicity. So it was just like, but at the same time it was like in the 90s, so everyone was like doing that gangster shit. Bone Thugs and like Tupac, they're all dressed like that, and my older brothers, they like went the opposite route, and they're all like more into like Nirvana and like Metallica and Offspring. Growing up, I just got like both sides of it. Like I saw like, you know, like the gangster side of it, and
I remember those
yeah, and then I saw like the other side of it, like through my brothers were like, okay, let's take this route. So it was like a mashup of everything. I didn't grow up with like a lot of, I guess our family, like we had to go by on like what my parents made. So it was like humbling when I think about it now. And I think definitely that's like shaped me into like who I am and like how I write my music now too. Like I'm sort of like an observer of things, because I didn't become a gangster or anything like that. But I can like, I sort of know, you know, I have the experience, I've seen it, so it helps me like write like from like.
And do you see yourself actually like progressing this into a career, or are you kind of just doing this like just for kicks, I guess?
I want it as a career, and yeah, that's eventually I want to progress it to that. And when I did the first mixtape, I was like, fuck it, I'll throw it out. But since the second one, I like produced like 80% of it, and I was just like, why not do something I like for a living? So that changed my mind.
And would you like to branch out into like other things beyond music, like possibly film, maybe acting?
No acting, because I can't act. I want to write. I want to write a novel before I die, to be honest, and just stick with music. That's the only thing I really care about.
And are there any projects coming up right now?
Right now, I just did a show. I opened up for Kendrick Lamar at the Whiskey, and that's the latest show. But I've been trying to like book other shows, and I'm doing a lot of like collabs, like through the internet. People hit me up, and I'll just like drop a verse. But I have a project possibly with Alex behind the scenes. He's behind the camera, but yeah, I have a collab joint with him that's in the works. But right now I'm just sort of just dropping like new songs weekly, working with Boondocks, so, the producer. Yeah. So I was just like trying to keep a steady flow. I dropped the mixtape, and I was like, it took a year out of me to like, I had to learn how to make all those beats and.
Yeah, is that tedious, or is that like of course it must be fun. I mean, obviously you wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't, but is it? How's the process? 'Cause I know writing, like I hear the people, they say that writing is the easiest part, and actually like mixing it is the hardest part.
Yeah.
Or is it vice versa for you?
For me, writing is easy, because like I enjoyed writing from school. Like, I always enjoyed writing. So writing lyrics is not exactly hard for me, but making the tone and like, you know, a beat from scratch is like really. I'm still getting the hang of it. Like I pretty much like, I jumped in the waters without learning how to swim.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought like the equipment, and then I still don't know how to read notes to this day. Like I'm just like playing all by ear and like taking notes from like Alex or Boondocks. Like those guys are helping me. But besides that, it's fun, but it's like at the same time it's I have a lot to learn. Just like sampling aspects and. Reading notes and all that, and chord progression, I don't know what that is. So I'm just sort of like winging it. I know I'll play drums though, so.
Oh, you play drums?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're an actual musician then,
yeah.
Would you say?
I mean, yeah, I could play. I'm not the greatest at it, but I can keep a beat. Play live or something.
So did you ever want to branch out into other genres eventually?
I really like, and I've been listening to KCRW. You know KCRW, right? I like the eclectic music they play, like let me think, like Flying Lotus. I don't know what genre that guy would be considered. He's really on some other shit. Like besides hip hop, I was just like maybe just a mashup of like hip hop beats with like electro. But it's been done before, but more on like a chill wave. So I don't know. I just want to make like some.
So nothing too obnoxious like what I usually hear. Right?
You know what? Oh, like no, not like that. That's awful. No, that's not awful, but. It's not my cup of tea. But, yeah, I would like to branch into that, just like some experimental shit, definitely. Like, I think that's sick.
And then, coming into my closing questions, first one would be, is there like a certain demographic that you're aimed at, like a certain group of people, or you just want everybody to hear you?
I want everyone to hear me. Like, I want old folks to be like, okay, this guy has something to say. But then I want the young people to be like, I can relate to what he's saying.
Well, if you're gonna branch out to old folks, you just might want to keep on that shoulder open. People don't want to be scared out of their wheelchairs.
Yeah, but well, yeah, with that said, that's true. But at the same time, too, it's like I'm not. If I offend them, then fuck it, I offend them. A lot of the music I'm learning now, like, not to, like, give a shit, really, about, other people's, thoughts, like, while I'm making the music. It's like, just make that shit organic, like, I'm making it, so, fuck it. If they like it, they like it. If not, then.
And then finally, this is a question I always like to ask people, so hopefully you don't get stumped by it.
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself an artist, and if so, what makes you an artist?
Yes.
Okay.
I consider myself an artist, not a rapper. I mean, I guess I rap, but more of an artist just because I'm producing the music, and it's more than just like trying to make a buck. Like, oh yeah, like it'll be cool to make a living off of this, but I want to make some good, like, progressive music, like more than just a fad, like something that's hot in like 10 years, like only in 10 years. Like, I want something like that'll like stand the test of time.
So you want to leave an impression. Though.
Yeah, just like some timeless shit. Like, that's what I want to make. That's my goal. I don't want to just throw something out and get like a radio hit. And nothing's wrong with that, but like that's why I consider myself an artist. I love the music. I'm doing this for myself, but I'm glad people like it.